All right, did I just bought my first Rolex? Of course not. I'm not making enough money out of this freaking YouTube adventure anyway, so I know I found this thing a couple weeks ago and I thought it was funny and it was pretty cheap, so I said, you know what? I haven't done a review on a very cheesy watch homage in a while, so let's get started. So the brand of the watch is C-Omex, which is not to be mistaken for Comex. All right. And before we open this box, a wristwatch check. I'm wearing my Tracer Big Date chronograph, and I really fell back in love with this thing. 40 millimeter chrono is the perfect size for me. For a chrono diver and aviation watches, I still like them at 42-ish. So let's open this and see what's in the box. So, nice little presentation box. I don't know if this is actually vintage. That's my big question. So if anyone has experience with Comex watches, chime in the comments or share this video so I can actually have some information on this. So green box, nice presentation. The top of the lid is it needs to be glued back, but gives you a good idea. And you have the C-Omex logo here, and it's actual wood. So it's a nice presentation. I really like it. So it is not a Submariner homage. So that's what attracted me to begin with, to be as silly as it is. So yeah, my son is just walking upstairs or playing with the dog. So it is a Sea Dweller homage, or fromage as I like to call it. And let me move the hands off the way, and there we go. So it is a Submariner 16600 reference homage. I don't know if I can actually show you this. Yeah, so even on the case, which I believe would be like kind of a Chinese case that you can find on AliExpress pretty much. So that's where my doubt set when I realized that. So I don't believe this is actually vintage per se. It might be 10 years old or so, but otherwise I have no way of knowing what was the year of production of these things. It does have a sterile case back like Rolex watches, but that's the end of it. So it is like a 40 millimeter by 47 from one lug tip to the other one. It is, you know what? I totally forgot how thick this thing was. Let me grab the caliper. So with the dome acrylic, it is 14 millimeters thick, almost 14 and a half. And yes, it is a dome acrylic, so that kind of gives it a vintage appeal to it. It does have a 120 click rotating bezel. And funny story, when I got this, the insert was half glued on. It was crooked too, so it wouldn't align with the 12 o'clock marker. And so I decided yesterday, you know what, I'll just take it off. Sorry. And I'll reglue it and align it properly. And while I did that, I knocked the pip off. And this was the kind of loom pip that didn't really have any loom to it. So what I did is that I did found the part holding the loom pip and applied some luminescent paint to it and a little dab of glue on top to give it that little shiny look, and it worked flawlessly. It's perfect. So it does have a screw down crown and a signed crown, drill lug holes, so it's really easy to take the spring bars off. And the bezel insert is actually made of aluminum. So when I took it off, I went very, very softly and gently, not to bend it out of shape, so it would actually go back on the bezel itself. I mean, that's all there is to say about it. I mean, oh yes, it does feature a helium escape valve, and I do not have the tool to open a Rolex style case back, so I have no way of knowing what kind of movement there is. Um, from the guy I bought it from, he said he sent it for service once, and he showed me the note from the watchmaker saying that it had a nice ETA 2824 movement in it. And as far as homage or copy watches are out there, he really liked this one. So that kind of sparked my interest when I read that in the guy's ad. So it's basically a nice vintage look, and it was very cheap. So I'm like, hey, I'll just keep it worst case scenario because it has no resale value per se. Or if there is, I mean, if you find any more info than I did in your part of the world, just let me know in the comments and share the video as much as you can. And this is not for my own gain. It's really just to gather information on these. I've seen online there's a few, or there's one Audemars Piguet homage, and I can't remember. I think the other one's a Panerai homage that they did too at some point. But other than that, there's nothing about C-Omex anywhere. So it's kind of a blur in time in a sea of homage watches per se. So yeah, I really like it, and if you like it too, let me know if if you find this, would you buy this yourself? Because I would probably buy it again. So I'll see you in the next video, and like I said, just like and share, and yeah, share it, because I think we ought to know more about this brand and see if they made any other interesting homage watches. Which I believe, well, to me, the quality of the build is not better than Saint Martin or whatever, but it's definitely better than Pagani design in the lower end of Chinese homage watch. So like and share again, and thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.